Hey there, thanks for tuning into Duckbricks. I'm Chris, and 2023 is a landmark year for LEGO City Street Downtown sets. LEGO City released the set simply titled Downtown on August 1st, 2023. LEGO Creator 3-in-1 released their own Main Street, which is a very similar premise, also on August 1st, 2023. And earlier this year, on January 1st, LEGO Friends released the Downtown Flower and Design Stores. All three of these sets follow a very similar concept. They are modular pieces of a city block, each in their own style, that essentially are all fully built together to form the streets of a city. And you can see I've actually got the Friends one set up right here. For this video, what I wanted to do is actually compare all three of the latest downtown street style LEGO sets and essentially try to figure out in a competition between LEGO City, LEGO Creator, and LEGO Friends, which one debuted the best Main Street this year. And so let's go ahead and jump right into the comparison. This is set number 41732, Downtown Flower and Design Stores from the LEGO Friends theme. It released on January 1st, 2023, comes with 2,010 pieces, and retailed for $160 or 160 euros. It also came with 9 mini dolls, 7 of which were unique to the set. This right here is Main Street, set number 31141 from the LEGO Creator theme. It released on August 1st, 2023, came with 6 minifigures and 1,459 pieces for a price of $140 or 140 euros. This right here is simply titled Downtown. It is set number 60380 from the LEGO City theme. It came with also 2,010 pieces, same as the LEGO Friends set, but retailed for $200 or 210 euros. It also came with 14 minifigures, all 14 of which were exclusive to this set, at least as of the time of this recording. Now this is really interesting. It is pretty rare for LEGO to release 3 somewhat similar sets in one release cycle in 1 year, much less across 3 different themes. And I figured it made a lot of sense to actually compare the 3 sets, which all released at different points throughout the year. This one in January, this one in August, and this one on June 1st for those living anywhere aside from North America. However, if you're living in North America like me, you also had to wait until August 1st. All 3 of these products were purchased by me and reviewed, so this is kind of an independent review. While I am part of the LEGO Ambassador Network, I was not sent any of these sets, and even if I was, that would not affect how I would review them. But I just want to make it clear that these were purchased by myself, so all thoughts and opinions expressed in this review are my own. Now, this is a really interesting thing for LEGO to do, as mentioned, and the thing that I find most interesting is that the first set here, the LEGO Friends Downtown Flower and Design Stores, has the same exact number of pieces as the seemingly considerably larger set from LEGO City, the Downtown set, both having 2,010 pieces, showing that piece count honestly isn't everything. As you can see, the City set utilizes a lot of large elements. You've got large clear windscreens, large pieces here, of course, the very large road plate elements, which really do make the scene feel alive, whereas the Friends set focuses on smaller detail, is aimed towards a slightly higher age range, which allows them to really go deep and granular into the kinds of details factored into the set. The Creator set, on the other hand, is a bit of an outlier. It is cheaper and smaller than either of the 2 sets, although honestly not that much cheaper than the Friends set, and it really is meant to fit within the modular system for the LEGO Creator Downtown almost mini modular street buildings, which is a series they've been doing for the past several years. In fact, many of these sets actually are modular, which I find to be really interesting, but not with each other. They all are modular within their own systems. LEGO City in summer of 2023 introduced a brand new modular system, where every single one of the buildings is removable, placed on these large-scale plates, which you can see here, almost like the 4+ style of juniorized plates, but that allows you to reconfigure it and also be able to attach each and every one of the buildings to additional buildings in the city lineup. In fact, a lot of the Technic holes are covered up by little pieces here on the City set, where you can see you're using a standard LEGO Technic brick to actually connect other buildings to this. And LEGO City did just release a ton of buildings to tie into this modular system, which I think is something really cool. I love it when LEGO sets can combine with each other and are fully modular, and they've absolutely accomplished that with this. On the other hand, the LEGO Friends set also is modular in its own right, where not only can you attach this to other LEGO Friends sets, this time using a 1x8 Technic bar, which you can see on the side there, but it also is modular with itself, which means that you can actually separate these out, as you can see, break it up into different segments, and really just reconfigure the road however you see fit. Same with the creator set. They are using the same exact modular system they have been using for years for these creator buildings, with just two simple Technic pins next to each other. I think it's pretty cool how these all actually do interface and interact with other existing sets, but also, if you really want to, all of them are connected by Technic pins, so you could make a massive city street with all of these, albeit at slightly different scales, levels of design detail, and also levels of depth in the buildings themselves. So I'm just going to kind of go in release order here. We're going to start off with the LEGO Friends set, work our way over to LEGO City, and then finally finish with LEGO Creator, at least looking at the worldwide release dates. So, for the LEGO Friends set here, this is lauded to be one of the greatest LEGO Friends sets ever, and for good reason. It is a really solid build, it's very colorful, but it also allows for a lot of interior detail. This truly feels like a lived-in building and a lived-in street, and LEGO designers really went all out when designing this. Obviously it's called the Downtown Flower and Design Stores, but I guess it really is supposed to be the Unity Street, where you can see a really nicely built tree for the fall colorations being used on the side here. There is a nice sidewalk and walkway along here. There is no road on this, because really only LEGO City is doing the brick-built buildable roads with road plates. But one thing that I really love about this set is the design of the architecture itself. This is a very unique look for a LEGO building. I've never quite seen anything like it. It feels very modern in the way that it's designed. You have the color scheme being incredibly strong with the purples, the light purples transitioning over to the lavender colors, and of course a very stark black integrated as well. And you can even see some solar panels up the top, which is kind of a recurring theme throughout a couple of these different sets. Of course, that is nicely juxtaposed with the more classic style of architecture being used for this building right here, where, as you can see, this is kind of a flower shop and apartment, which is very convenient because folks are moving into the apartment and literally just buying their furniture from a couple blocks down the street. This is a really nice, more rustic style of building. It almost feels very European in its design. You have more traditional style windows and shutters, and I again also love the color scheme being used here. To me, the LEGO Friends set is, as we're gonna see as we go into the actual rest of the buildings themselves, probably the most detailed when it comes to the interior, which makes sense because a lot of the LEGO Friends sets started off as semi-dollhouses, where you really have an emphasis on the interior design and detail. That's also why that despite having 2010 pieces, it feels visibly smaller than the LEGO City set, which has the same amount of pieces, but is more expensive because there isn't that much interior detail, the buildings are not quite as thick as these ones, and more focus is placed on the exterior. However, I really love the amount of detail integrated into this LEGO Friends set, where, as you can see, there is a copious amount scattered in throughout the building itself, from the furniture store having different pieces of brick-built furniture on display, each one of them actually having price tags as well, which feels really, really special. It's basically a LEGO Friends version of an IKEA. You can move on upwards, and there's even more different types of furniture where the shopper is actually able to walk through. You can see different stickers, even a reference to the LEGO Art Botanical sticker there, which is a really nice reference there to an existing LEGO set, and they have absolutely crammed every single available space with furniture here, including a bed that is literally mounted on the side of the wall, where they were really maxing out what you can do with the interior space. And I think this is a really interesting way of looking at how design principles vary from set to set. The LEGO Friends team is really focused on providing a very realistic interior. There's even a coffee machine inside of there. There's of course a little houseplant sitting aside to add on to the decorations itself, and an even outdoor seating area with some beautiful glass furniture and seats right here where you can actually open up the doors and go outside. So very, very realistic, again, because LEGO Friends is focused on that, whereas some of the other sets aren't really necessarily focused on having realism in the detail itself. Moving into the flower shop, I love how different this feels from the downtown flower store, where this really does feel like an older style of shop. You do have a cash register here with a nice sticker. Of course, a nice sticker being used here as well. Different styles of flowers on the inside. Honestly, could have maybe even gone with more flowers in a flower shop, but I think the selection provided is okay. And then moving on upwards, you have, of course, a very plain apartment, which is purposefully plain because the entire gimmick behind this is that somebody is moving in. So you have a series of different stacked boxes. You even have a picture frame here, which is a really cute looking picture frame that you're about to put up. You have some paint being utilized here in case you want to paint this wall. So most of this is the lighter yellow color, or the cool yellow. but this side is white. There even are studs, so you can actually literally take pieces from the downtown design store here, which is of course the furniture store. You can maybe take different pieces of artwork hanging on the walls and then transition them all the way over to this house right here, which essentially provides a blank template for builders to be able to transition some of the furniture, at least literally go shopping and pick out their favorite pieces of furniture, whichever style of bed they want, which chairs they want, which table they want, and literally just move it over to this other building here, which I think is such a smart idea for a play pattern for this set. Now, moving on upwards, there is a bit of a rooftop area as well. There isn't very obvious ways to access, or there's no real staircase going upwards, but you'll see that's the case for pretty much all these sets. Aside from a staircase right here, which does go upwards to this upper balcony, one thing I really do like is the design of the rainbow style of staircase, which I just think is a really cool looking design. In general, it makes it feel very alive and just very vibrant as a Unity style of street, of course with a string light hanging above the top as well. Overall, in terms of the design of the buildings, this may be one of my favorite sets on the list. Definitely, I think, a little bit better than the Creator one, which is really surprising to me. I never would have thought I would say a LEGO Friends set is just blowing things out of the water, but I mean, if you look at the Friends lineup this year, every single one is an absolute killer. Every single Friends set is just firing on all cylinders this year, and that is really evidenced by the other buildings they've done. I have put out a full mega review of all of the Friends summer sets if you are curious to see what those look like. But again, huge fan of the set, and for $160 for 2010 pieces, this may have the best value on this entire list. But moving on from this LEGO Friends set, I think it's time to set aside that set and take a look at the LEGO City set, which we have right here. So this is simply titled Downtown. It is the latest large-scale LEGO City set, and in my opinion, maybe the best LEGO City set ever made. It does retail for $200 in the US and 210 euros, which is even more expensive, but as you can see, it provides a full package of all sorts of different things to do. Visually speaking, the scale of this is hitherto undreamt of. We have never seen a city set that has this much scale and breadth and depth to it. It almost feels like City's answer to stuff like Ninjago City, or even some of the smaller stuff like the Monkey Kids City of Lanterns, where you really have a very eclectic collection of different styles of buildings, all sorts of different architectures from older styles to modern styles blending together into one massive complex, which I think is so cool. One of my favorite things that they included, which they've just started including for the summer city sets, are these 2x4 tiles, so that if you want to connect this to other road plate sets, you can remove these two plates right here, which are essentially meant to be able to drive onto it, and then just allow it to be connected by these plates right here, which is just so convenient, and I really like that they actually were able to do that for LEGO City. Now that really makes me want to integrate this into my own LEGO City, which is absolutely going to be a challenge because I'm running out of space. Moving onwards though, I do just want to take a look at all of the different things included here. First of all, you have a small pizza shop, and again, everything is modular. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of look at each module one by one. This pizza shop right here is the simplest aspect of the build. It just has a brick-built pizza, a billboard on the top for some sort of an action movie featuring two minifigures that you can get from LEGO City lineups nowadays. The T-Rex minifigure is included in the set, a recolor of the collectible minifigure T-Rex mold, and this is one of the bike stunts riders from the LEGO City stunt sets. Now this is just a nice, charming little pizzeria, but there's actually a surprisingly high amount of interior detail. There's a full oven, there's a chef minifigure, there's some batter and rolling pans and whatnot, so all of this feels very realistic. And again, you have that aforementioned pin system where if you do want to connect this to other types of LEGO City buildings released this year, you can simply just remove that and connect them via the Technic holes, which I think is really cool. Now, of course, on the exterior do have a park as well, so you have a nice open area. This feels like it is kind of a lake or maybe a river that is going through the city, which is maybe one of my favorite details of the entire set. You do have this very European style of walkway with the tan and these chain links preventing you from jumping into the river or the pond here, but I think that really suggests that you could do more with this, especially if you wanted to build a mock around this and really expand the city itself. Moving onwards, there is almost a little food market area. Let me see if I can get a good camera angle on this right here. We're going to go ahead and actually remove my phone from the tripod so we can just go really in depth into what we have going on in this city set. This is a noodle stall, so you have some Asian food being cooked up here, which is really great. You also have a rainbow crosswalk, which is really fantastic representation to see from LEGO City. And all around, you can see the sheer scale of this building absolutely dwarfs even the large LEGO Friend set, which has the same number of pieces. This is just absolutely massive. Starting off down here, we have a bit of a park area, as I mentioned. Right here is a hairdresser area, so you can see that this is supposed to be obviously a classic barbershop style of thing going on. On the inside, you do have a hairdresser as well as the Omega hair from LEGO Star Wars, which is really interesting seeing that be included. It is a recolored LEGO Harry Potter hair in tan, but I really do like that they included that in this set as well, because it is a pretty rare hair piece. It's rare to see that one for sale in a standard LEGO set. This right here is a pet veterinary clinic, so you can see right in here there is a dog being operated on, and even a parrot sitting there as well. Up at the top here, we have someone who is live streaming, which literally has a ring light, which I find to be very funny. You have a phone set up with a ring light, so maybe that's this guy's apartment or something like that. And then on the top there is a dance area featuring some of the newly recolored transparent 2x2 tiles introduced for LEGO Minecraft. Now my favorite part of this build is the sky bridge, where this literally has a sky bridge where the minifigures can cross from one building to the next. What is very cool is that this sky bridge does actually open up, so you can place minifigures inside the sky bridge if you want them walking across. Like for instance, I can put this kid walking across the sky bridge there, close it up, and there you go. You actually have minifigure characters populating your city, which is really, really cool. Even have a reference to some of the grocery sets from earlier in the year and last year with the fresh sign right here for the LEGO City grocery store, which we just recently got. So that's a nice little tripod style vehicle there. And then moving onwards to this side of the buildings, we have even more stuff. Down here is a really cool comic shop, so we have somebody dressed up in a T-Rex outfit, which is one of the most unique minifigures of the set. And one thing I do want to note is that every single one of the characters in the set feels like a legitimate character. Oftentimes, LEGO City minifigures are not that interesting, but almost every single one of them had some sort of a unique print or something unique to their character. This girl's wearing a raccoon shirt and is wearing some, I guess, raccoon ears on her hair. The Twitch streamer also has some sort of a unique torso design and lime green hair, which is a recolor of the Asian style hair introduced for the BTS set. Even the Doctor has a unique facial print, which you can see right there. Every single one of the characters, again, feels like a very unique person. They feel like they have their own identities. This one has a mustache. I mean, it is so cool to me how they actually have unique look and feels for every single one of the characters that makes it feel like they are real people living in this real world. Look at that new torso print and new face print for this random civilian. A lot of effort clearly went into the minifigures, which I can really appreciate. Inside the comic store, though, going back to here, we have a helmet from the stunt sets on display. Rotating this around, there are a lot of nods to LEGO Ninjago in this, which I find to be really cool, including a chrome silver titanium Zane trading card that is, I believe, the Air Jitsu robe from Zane for Season 6. You also have a trading card here for LEGO Ninjago, yet another one for Cole. I guess it's supposed to be Lloyd in a green action figure outfit. This is a reference to the LEGO City gaming truck with the pink style of fists. And then you even have a small build for the Temple of Air Jitsu here from LEGO Ninjago, which is a really cool reference. Moving on upwards, we have some more different styles of buildings. We have a workstation here being used for this character, so you can see that he is, I guess, some sort of a street sweeper or something like that. But you can really see that it's cool that they reuse the newer style of collectible minifigure hat for the newsboy. Very interesting seeing that being used. And then over here you have a computer store. Maybe this guy's just a computer enthusiast, but you can see he's wearing a tie with a circuit board on it. Again, just completely unique designs for the minifigures. And up here we have a hotel, so you have a really nice area for folks to stay in. There is a way to select your beds, references to LEGO sports stuff. You can see all the way through to the next building here. Like, this is a great angle. I mean, this really feels like you are living inside the city to be able to see through the sky bridge itself. And then up here you actually have the hotel itself. So you have a toilet, a bed, and all sorts of nice details being factored in, including a nice balcony area. Overall, this feels really unique to me as a LEGO set, especially as a LEGO City set, because the detail included within this build is unlike anything we've really seen from LEGO City before. And what's again very cool is that it is fully modular, so you can separate each and every one of the buildings and literally just use them on your city streets. This whole thing, for instance, is a module. This whole piece is a module. Everything is its own module. The sky bridge, this roof piece, even the different panels of the roof can be fully removed and turned into their own modules. It is so cool how each and every one of these blocks is a completely unique thing, which means that you can really just mix and match however you want to display these in your own Lego city, which is just so cool how as quickly as that, I can basically just reconfigure the entire thing. Want the sky bridge to be lower? Done. You can just very easily put that down here and then put another building there as well. So let me just set that up here. I mean, we're just going to play around with the orientation here. I mean, maybe it doesn't make too much sense, but you can put like this building right here, for instance, and then you can maybe, if we have a smaller building, put this piece here. This piece can go up here, and then you can just really play around with all sorts of different stuff that they've provided with you in the set. And with that, you've completely changed around the layout, essentially completely. Like, this is a completely separate layout. Here's a good balcony for this part of the room right here. Just putting that on top of this piece. And that is just so impressive to me. How I basically was able to just take these individual modules and make a completely new building out of them. Like, this is even taller than it was before, and that was just by using the pieces available in this set. And remember, each of the other LEGO City sets in this wave also have the same exact setup. They also have these exact modules, which you can use to stack on here and add more. And because of that, you can probably see where this review is going, but I am a big fan of this system, and I love that LEGO is doing this in their sets. Let's get this back though to the original configuration and then move on. Okay, now that this is back in order, we can move on to the final set I wanted to discuss in this video, which is the LEGO Creator Main Street. Now, the LEGO Creator Main Street is unfortunately kind of constrained by a couple of different things, which I honestly don't really hold against the set, but make it just a little bit worse than some of the other sets on this list. First of all, it is a cheaper price point. Do keep in mind that this is $140 for 1,500 or so pieces, which is less than the $160 for the LEGO Friends Downtown Flower Design Stores, and much less than the $200 for the LEGO City Downtown set. So maybe a comparison isn't entirely fair, especially when you throw this set in, but I figured it made sense to take a look at, given that it is a downtown city main style of street, which is interesting to see LEGO do 3 of these in 1 year. So for this particular style of set, we have 4 individual modules, which is the hotel here, music store, we also have a different style of record store here, and then a coffee shop. And each of these is unfortunately not super detailed on the inside. Honestly, pretty much what you can see from the outside is what you get with this. There are a number of different minifigures included in the set, but they don't feel as special as the LEGO City ones or even the unique LEGO Friends ones, because this is of course LEGO Creator. But keep in mind, this is a Creator 3-in-1 set, so you can actually use these pieces to make different things. The interiors are really only around 4 studs wide, or in some cases 3 studs wide. This one is only 2 studs wide because the building is sloping on upwards, which does make it a little bit more difficult to pose minifigures on the inside. But for what they were working with, because again, the LEGO Creator Downtown sets are really only 4 stud wide interiors because they want to keep it within the same style as many of the other sets, I do understand and appreciate that they were able to get something this good out of the constraints. So first of all, moving into the hotel itself, we can see that there's a lot of nice detail. There's a bathtub, a bed here, another bed here, plant, desk, as well as a check-in area for a minifigure here. This is probably one of the most interesting minifigures included in the set just because of the unique torso print, which is actually pretty cool. I do really like this one. The other ones are honestly not as interesting. But everything else you can see is really just mostly focused on the detail on the exterior. This is kind of the antithesis of the LEGO Friends sets, which really tried to maximize the interior space. This, on the other hand, is working with the pieces to maximize the exterior space and make it feel bigger with just a few pieces, despite just not having that big of an interior. They do include a minifigure on one of the new wheelchair pieces, which is nice, except for the fact that he can barely fit inside a lot of the stores itself, because again, it is pretty tight in there for the wheelchair itself. But I do really like how this entire column, or at least this middle section, is pretty music themed. You have a music store here, so you can get a piano, guitar, a speaker. Here you can buy some records, so you have some printed tiles here, and then a record player itself. There is someone playing the drums up here, and then of course you also have a karaoke stage right here, so that's pretty cool, or maybe a recording booth, because it does have the recording button on as well as a lever to really just sample your sound. And then up here is just maybe somebody's apartment, super simple computer screen. Moving on to here, you have some completely different stuff. You have a coffee machine, you have, I guess, part of an apartment as well with a camera and a lamp and whatnot. And then here's just a bit of a side alleyway to just round out the set itself. Really, the focus is on appreciating the architecture on the outside of the street, which I really can do. I love the color scheme for the hotel. I think the dark blue and the gold mixed in with the white and a hint of teal is a very regal and classy color scheme for a hotel. The sign, despite only using the Dots quarter tiles, actually is done pretty well. I'm actually really impressed with how that looks, and this by far is one of the best style of creator buildings that they've done for this particular series of modular buildings. This tier almost feels like a miniature version of the Parisian restaurant modular building, at least to me, with the color scheme being the white and dark blue and then some tans underneath. But then you have it completely switched up by the inclusion of the actual music store, which is very themed around music here with the pinks. This is also a nicely detailed, colorful building with the oranges and yellows, whereas the coffee shop is honestly the least interesting to me and is the most rectangular and fitting within the standard LEGO system. All in all, I definitely do feel that $140 maybe is a little bit high for this set in particular, especially compared to two absolutely amazing sets sitting next to it. But it's not that big of a deal. It just kind of is unfortunate for LEGO Creator to be sandwiched literally in between two absolutely amazing sets, which I would say are some of the best sets that both of the themes have provided. But now it comes down to the final question. Which one of these is the best LEGO City style of downtown realistic city street for 2023? As a recap, we have LEGO Friends. This is the Downtown Flower and Design Store's $160 for 2010 pieces. We have the LEGO City Downtown set, same piece count, 2010, but $200. And then we have the Creator Main Street for $140 and about 500 less pieces. Now, to be completely honest, I went into this video thinking that the easy win would go to LEGO City, but I'm finding myself really torn between City and Friends. Both of these are so good in their own right for very different ways. LEGO Friends is really prioritizing really nice, fine, and granular detail. I love the checker pattern on this building, the architecture is so interesting, and I feel like the play pattern for the LEGO Friends set is so strong. Being able to move furniture and pieces of furniture from this building to this one is a really cool idea. And the buildings also feel the most fleshed out to me. One massive building dedicated to one subject, which is, of course, the IKEA style of store here, and this one is a flower store and apartment. There's really only 3 types of buildings included in this set, which allows them to feel a lot more focused and feel like they're a lot bigger and more realistic. The City set, on the other hand, has a ton of ideas. There are a lot of really cool things going on, like the hotel, you have a streamer's apartment, you have a veterinary area, you have a barber shop, but all of them feel like almost very small microcosms in a much larger city, where maybe this entire building should have been an apartment, or maybe this entire building should have been a hotel. But I also feel that it's really cool that they were able to do different things with it, and again, the modularity of the City system is unparalleled. Especially the modularity they have introduced for summer of 2023 is so cool, and I really do kind of want to combine a lot of the other City sets. I did buy all the City sets for the express purpose of combining them and mixing and matching them in my actual LEGO City, so this is absolutely amazing to me, and I am a big fan of the way this one turned out. The Creator set, I'm going to be honest, is easily the weakest of the 3. I like the exterior, but the buildings aren't really as fancy as some of these other ones. Even the LEGO City set, which usually is pretty juniorized, does have some more interesting buildings and architecture than the Creator set, at least for some of them. While the hotel is really nice, I almost feel like the hotel should have been its own Creator set. Sell this for $50, maybe even 60 or 55 if you're pushing it, and I could have just gone without some of the other buildings. But overall, I hate to do this, but I really am going to say I can't pick a favorite between City and Friends. They both accomplish very different things. They set out to do different things, and I think they're both some of the best sets these themes have to offer. This is, in my opinion, the best LEGO City set. This, in my opinion, might be the best LEGO Friends set. I mean, they've released a lot of amazing sets for Friends this year. But this is definitely top 3, maybe even top 2 Friends sets. So you have 2 major heavy hitters here, and I'm going to leave it up for the comments to decide. Which one do you think is better? Yes, if you look at pure value by price per part, you're getting a better deal with this one. But this is obviously bigger. I mean, there are bigger pieces used, which shows price per part isn't everything. It's just so interesting how the same exact piece count, 2010 pieces, can accomplish very, very different outcomes. And that's all I have to say about this trio of sets. Thank you all so much for tuning in to this Duck Bricks comparison. I had a great time showcasing these sets and really being able to compare and contrast them. And let me know in the comments, do you own any of these? And after seeing this video, are you incentivized to maybe pick up 1, 2, or all 3 of them to do a comparison of your own? That's all for today, but I hope you enjoyed this comparison, and definitely let me know in the comments if you want to hear more LEGO comparisons in the future, because this is a really fun video series for me to do. All right, with that, we have summed up our look at City versus Friends versus Creator. I never thought I'd say it, but City somehow emerged victorious, which was absolutely a surprise to me. In my opinion, LEGO Friends has been really killing it, and honestly, it was really close between Friends and City. But City won this round, and huge congratulations to the City team for really revamping the entire experience of building the sets. I love these so much more than any other City set that's come in the past, and I hope this level of quality will continue into 2024. But of course, that's just my opinion. Let me know down in the comments below which of the 3 sets is your favorite. Do you own any of these sets? Are you planning on displaying them in a city of your own? And I think that about sums up this video. Thank you all so much for tuning into Duck Bricks. Be sure to like and subscribe for even more LEGO news, reviews, discussion, and analyses coming your way very soon, and bye for now.